Hello and welcome to another Denis Wick interview. My name's Brett Baker, and it gives me great pleasure today to talk a little bit to Josh Rzepka, all the way from Chicago or the Chicago area. And so, welcome, Josh. And I guess my first question would be, whereabouts in Chicago are you, and why are you there?
Well, Brett, thank you. I'm glad to be here. And Chicago, great city. And I am in the kind of little northwest neighborhood of Chicago called Avondale. And I didn't grow up here though. I grew up in Akron, Ohio, in northeast Ohio. And I moved out here, not for school, not for any reason like that. I moved out here because many years ago, my wife and I were dating long distance, and she got a job out here, and we were serious at the time. We got married afterwards, so I decided to make that big move and go from the little city of or smaller city of Akron, Ohio, all the way out to Chicago, and the music scene here is just terrific. There's just so much going on, so it's been great being out here.
I know Akron very well. I've been there about 10 times, I think.
Really?
So yeah, I know about all there's a lot of tire factories in Akron.
The
A lot of
It's the rubber
rubber
city.
manufacturing. Yeah, and I've been involved in gigs with brass band of the Western Reserve, who are based in
Oh,
Akron.
I
Yeah.
have played with them
Okay, there we are.
actually a
See it as a
long time
small
ago.
world.
Long time, yeah. So Akron Rubber City is actually like the headquarters of Firestone Tires and Goodyear and a lot of those. So I actually attended Firestone High School,
Wow.
named after
Okay.
the founder of Firestone Tires. Yeah.
Wow. Oh, that is interesting. Yeah. So on to the main part of this interview, and what inspired you to remain playing the trumpet? Did you play on any other instruments before that, or has that always been your thing?
Yeah, trumpet was really kind of like always my thing. Fourth grade in band, we had to my school in fourth grade, everyone had to be in band. Had to pick an instrument, and they gave me, we tried different ones, but they gave me the trumpet, and I made some sound on it that must have been encouraging to them. So they sent me home with it, and I do remember the first week they sent me home. They were like, don't press any of the valves. Like all I want you to do is focus on just getting that sound, and that's it. And I remember that first week, like taking it home and kind of trying to get into it, and just stuck with it the whole time. I got a lot of great encouragement over the years, like in band from some of my band directors, like were better than others. It's like
Yeah.
coming up in a small school, and then my high school is big. I had a lot of great teachers, throughout, and a lot of them really inspired me.
Oh, excellent. Oh, that's great. Is there a particular event that you feel improved you as a player, or was that more of a gradual thing in terms of the progress that you made?
There's a couple. Well, I would say there's like a couple that kind of stick out. Um, that I can recall. The first one, um, I'll give you like I'll give you three, if that's okay.
Yeah.
So the first one, I was very young, and it was the first song that I ever transcribed. It was the first song I ever learned by ear, and this was completely like at the encouragement of my dad, and he was a big fan of is a big fan of Dizzy Gillespie and loves the song in Indonesia. And he was like, basically was like, hey, if you learn this song by ear, like, I'll pay you X dollars, right? It's like a reward. Like you should practice to learn this song. So I'm like, this is great. I can earn some cash. So like I listen and I listen, and that was like my first album that he ever gave me was like a Dizzy Gillespie composition, compilation. So I was listening, and like, I got into it, and I figured it out as best as I could as like a, I don't know, a sixth grader, right? fifth grader. So I remember that was like really the first time that I was learning music that wasn't like band music. It was like the first time that I ever like transcribed and like listened and like had to go through that process. And that, it must have had a big impact. And then if I fast forward to high school, um, 11th grade, I had never played like a solo or, I mean, I was, serious. I liked music, I loved playing the trumpet. I was in all the different bands, but like 11th grade, I had never done like a solo contest or any of these. And, I was given the album Carnival, Wynton Marsalis, like,
Yeah.
just brilliantly playing like all of these impossible cornet solos. And I was just blown away. Like I had no idea the trumpet could do that, that it could sound like that. I didn't even know what double tonguing was or triple tonguing, none of that. But I was studying with a teacher and, so I went to my teacher and I'm like, this album is like nuts. Like, I want to learn the Carnival of Venice and play it for, this solo and ensemble competition. And he was like, sure, I'll teach you, but like, you're going to have to practice, 2 hours a day. Like, you're going to have to really like bump it up and do a lot. And I was like, cool. Cause I was like motivated and I wanted to play this piece. So I kind of like dug in and I started, 2, 3, 4 hours a day, like just practicing as much as I could after school to learn how to double tongue and to learn, to learn this piece. And after like a couple months, like my playing like just skyrocketed, like transformed completely. And, great advice from my teacher. And like, he was teaching me and showing me how to do everything. And then I played it at contests, and got top ratings. And then it was like, from there, it was like, I kind of just leveled up like a couple times. And then like, I from then on, I basically like won all the top auditions at my school. And that's like when I really was getting serious, with music then. And then I'll say the third one, we're going to fast forward a little bit more. And that was after my undergraduate and, had some time off in between, undergraduate and graduate school. And I was, working on different projects and I was like, okay, I want to, try and do what I can do as a freelance player and as a jazz musician and classical and, kind of see what I can do. So, then I was like, I'm going to put together an album. And this was my first album. And I had no idea like what I was doing, but like the process of that. And then saying, okay, well, I'm like a young, broke musician. Like, how do I do this as inexpensively as possible? So it's like, well, I didn't have any money to pay for, royalties and licensing and all that. So it's like, well, I better become a composer and like, I better start working and writing music. So that really like, I had never written music before. It's like I took an arranging class in university, and it's like I did a little bit, but I never really studied, composition and that. So I kind of was just like, okay, well, like let's see what I can do, and I managed to come up with a whole album worth of originals. So like those are a couple of moments for me that really like stick out where it's like there was a decision and there was like something that that happened that like really changed the trajectory moving forward. And it's like it put me on this new path. And I'm just staying with it and always trying to grow, still even today.
And I think the thing that comes out of that is that it's very much down to hard work, isn't it? These things, people always say, "Oh, uh, this guy's a really gifted player," and then you're thinking, well, there's a lot of work that goes into being gifted.
Exactly. It's like you just to be topical, to Akron in my hometown and the news of the last 24 hours. So I grew up in Akron, Ohio, and just a couple miles away from me at the same time I was in high school, LeBron James was in high school. And
Right.
he just yesterday, passed the all-time scoring record for the NBA in basketball. It's like people see LeBron, they see him play, or you see anyone, any sports player, and it's like they're on the field, they're doing their thing, and it like looks great and fun, but it's like you don't see the hours every day in the gym, and then the 5 a.m.
Yeah.
wake ups and the stretching and the physical, the PTs, like all these things. It's the same with us. You see us on stage, and you're like, oh, they're so incredible. It's like you should listen to me play like more or less the same 1 to 2 hours of like technical studies every day, just trying to like make it this much better. Like each day, just this much easier, this much more accurate. It's like it's very tedious focused hard work, but you put that in, and then hopefully then you get on stage, you get in front of people, and it's like you can forget about all that and you can do your thing.
That's fabulous. Thank you very much, Josh, for your time today. It's been fascinating getting to know you and what makes you tick. And so I'm sure we'll pick up again and do another interview on similar topics. So look forward to catching up with you soon.
My pleasure, Brett. Thank you so much.